I just wanted to talk about Shopify on TBPN, which I thought was like such a cool way to kind of promote their own stores. I talked last week about how Harvey Finkelstein, the president of Shopify, had done a tweet where he's trying to engage with people to tell him their favorite stores or like actual merchants to post their store so that customers can buy from it. Um, and then when this happened, I was like, whoa, they're really like going
Mm.
full in on like trying to involve people on like shopping on like one of the biggest days of the year. But then doing it in such a way that made it less about Shopify and then more about like the actual merchants that are on the platform. So I caught a few of the ones that, showed up. Sarah Foster of Favorite Daughter. That's one of my newest favorite brands. There was like the CEO of Ridge, Sean Frank, and Noel Mack, the brand officer of Gymshark. I thought it was just like a cool way of, introducing more people to more brands that, sell directly to consumers.
Absolutely. And I think the really exciting thing about TBPN too, it's obviously taken the entire tech world by storm,
Hmm.
but it's almost a status symbol in its own way of culture. Like if you are a really strong brand and you are doing something where you really want to get the voice out, just even being on TBPN, it's kind of the equivalent of 10, 15 years ago being in a TechCrunch or something like
Hmm.
that. So I think it's also really cool to see the window shift around traditional media. A lot of people prefer to do something like this. They can be more in control of their own narrative, but then just even being associated with TBP and the brand gives you a lot of a brand halo that you might otherwise not get just through normal marketing.
Oh, I'm actually sort of surprised that we haven't seen more of this yet, right? Because it looks like they have some kind of partnership. So, which makes me think that I'm guessing Shopify paid for the ad
Hmm.
slot.
Yeah, I think it'd be a little bit of where TBPN wants to keep the integrity of like the journalism, going. So you don't just feel as if I'm just getting ads when I want to listen to the news about what's happening. What worked for me for this was like, okay, it's clearly for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it's like purely going to be about that. But then you also got to talk directly to like the, co-founders, the presidents, the, CEOs of the company, and hear more of their story. And it wasn't just a full on sales pitch the whole time. So I do think it's an interesting way of doing it, but I won't be surprised if they do it more, right? Um, I do wonder if it's going to remain under the host or if it's going to be like they hire, other people to focus, more on this kind of like e-commerce stuff. Cause, much like regular news, right? Like keeping that journalistic integrity versus like the sponsored content. Like,
And it's interesting too, because I feel like a lot of people are trying to do what TBPN does. And I don't feel like the magic is really in just, hey, you're reading tech news out on a stream for an hour
mhm.
a day, or you're just creating a podcast. So I think there is some level of just mystery or aura that's connected to the fact that it's being
Mhm.
hosted by them right now. So it would be interesting to see if it's by itself just a good distribution engine or really just reliant on who's hosting it today.
Yeah. The other thing too is the ramp experiential marketing thing that happened in New York. Like that was also sponsored on like TBPN, and
Yeah.
TBPN had like the live stream of it and was like talking to Brian Baumgartner, CFO for the day. So I think that was kind of like an inch in that direction where it's like they have like their sponsors and like they're putting, deals together for like their sponsors. So maybe that was like the start of it. And now they're, doing this. So we'll see, yeah, kind of what sort of ways there are to like do this going forward without feeling cringy. Oh, I wanted to tell you, Amanda, that the CMO of Figs was on the broadcast for
It's
TBPN.
fun
Yeah, yeah,
for the
yeah.
shop part of the Shopify
Uh-huh. Yeah,
partnership.
yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's pretty cool that
Was he wearing a tux?
I know, right? Too funny. Shopify also did a promotion on the Las Vegas Sphere. Do you want to tell us about that, Kushan?
Yeah, I thought this was really fascinating. Number one, I feel like Shopify has a very hard job trying to outdo itself every year on Black Friday. They
Mhm.
know that they're under the radar. They have to do something new. This year, apparently, it had been announced that it was about 2 years in the works. They got their traditional dashboard, which they started building a couple years back. It's a view of the globe, and they show Shopify interactions in real life as they're happening on Black Friday. They got that broadcasted onto the Las Vegas Sphere, which is
Hmm.
fantastic. The Sphere is the concert
Yeah.
venue where you basically have the 360-degree view. So the Sphere has done ads, I think, for the entire time it's been alive. It's
Mhm.
broadcast its concerts, also done more billboards, and
Sure.
yes.
I mean, Formula One does it whenever,
Yep.
the Grand Prix is in Las Vegas, the Baseball World Series one.
This is one of the first ones where they were broadcasting it in real time. So they were trying to
Mm.
take the same formula that they used for Twitter, putting it on the Spear itself. So I just thought it was really fascinating. Definitely a good example of creative marketing. I would love to hear both your thoughts though on do we feel like do you feel like if people were unfamiliar with Shopify or unfamiliar with Black Friday, this did much? Was it just kind of like a cool flash in the pan?
Yeah, I feel like coupled with everything that they've been doing, it kind of like works. I like that they're taking ownership of like Black Friday and Cyber Mondays, right? Because I feel like it's been such an Amazon thing for so long that like, even within Amazon, that feels like it's not even a thing, right? Because now they have Prime Day, right? So they have sales throughout the year that have, for me, kind of move them away from Black Friday being like a main focus. So I like that Shopify, that's like the new like startup that's kind of like trying to compete with them, is trying to take ownership of the whole like, weekend, I guess, because it's from Friday through like Monday. I feel like it wasn't until this year that I've seen this much marketing coming from Shopify. Before it's kind of just seemed like they've built like the ecosystem of like how people can buy, direct from businesses, right? So I'm starting to see a lot more businesses use Shopify online, but I hadn't really paid too much attention to like their ads. And then this is the first time that's like, oh, they're kind of blanketing, everything. So I wonder if like this was for them, like, let's go all in on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, in order to bring as much attention, not just to us, but to the merchants that are selling, in order to like drum up business, especially since like this year, everybody's been talking about how poorly the economy has been doing and whether or not people would actually be shopping. We'll talk about that later, courtesy of Amanda. But I think that that's been like a huge thing of like, okay, let's try to, spend as much money to get people to shop and like buy things as much as possible and then see where they land.